Welcome to your stock tips and daily news report. In this video, we will learn about the new CDC guidelines regarding the masking of vaccinated people, the increasing spread of the Delta variant, the discussion of today's FOMC meeting, which will have a big impact on the market, the stock market as a whole, Tesla's earnings, possible DOGECOIN and Ethereum catalyst, AMC short interest and possibility for another squeeze, Apple's earnings, Google's earnings, Microsoft earnings, and Visa's as well, and along with Starbucks. You see, there's a lot going on. And we're going to briefly talk about the Chinese FUD that has been going around and a couple of news anchors that have been kind of flip-flopping back and forth. But yes, let's get started. I would like to first start off by talking about the new CDC guidelines that were just issued. Just a few things that I highlighted here. The CDC states that to maximize protection from the Delta variant and prevent possibly spreading it to others, wear a mask indoors, in public, if you are in an area of substantial or high transmission. Right? So this is definitely a reversal from what the CDC was saying a couple months ago. A couple things that I would like to go ahead and talk to you guys about is, infections happen in only a small portion of people who are fully vaccinated. Even with the Delta variant, when these infections occur among vaccinated people, they tend to be mild. And that's important, right? If you are fully vaccinated and become infected with the Delta variant, you still, though, can spread it to others. And the fear is those others may not be vaccinated. So that's a big dangerous component that the CDC is taking into perspective. So just another reiteration, CDC reverses indoor mask policy. And, they mentioned something here I like. They just talk, how CNBC is more for stocks and markets and investments. And they're already kind of assuming that there is going to be a increase in the Delta variant spread just before shy of the fall season. And, that may definitely cause some FUD in the stock market, which is why we're discussing it on this channel. Now, if we go to Israel, in their preliminary research and results, they found that the Pfizer COVID vaccine is 39% effective to protect you from acquiring the Delta variant. Now, regardless of that, if you still do get the 2 doses, you are 88% effective from against hospitalizations, and 91% effective has an effective rate against severe illness. So long story short, it will protect you. These vaccines will protect you from not getting severely sick. But I can only imagine that individuals who did not mount a good immune response within the 2 shots, that I speculate that Pfizer and even Moderna might go to the CDC and discuss booster options. Now, I just wanted to kind of show you this, and I'm sure you guys seen this a lot on your pursuit to acquire knowledge. You can see that the number of cases has been increasing. And, everyone's taking a look at this increase. If it's going to be followed up by hospitalizations or death, this is very scary, right? And it definitely is going to have an impact on all of us. So what I like to do is I like to look at Google Trends and what people are Googling on their phones, computers, what have you. And as you can see here, when you search the term COVID, earlier in November 22nd of 2020, you see that this was a surge. If you look at the stocks and what stocks were doing, you can almost kind of map out in your head an inverse relationship here, right? And we can see that the Googling of COVID is ever so increasing. And right after these mandates, this reversal in mask mandate, I want to say this light reversal, I want to say, from the CDC, I definitely think that institutions are and bigger businesses are going to start reversing as well. And that might actually hurt the economic growth, but it will definitely help save lives, and that's all that matters. But it definitely is important to talk about it, as this is an investment channel. So there has been a quarantine travel review, and Sydney extends its lockdowns. So we need to understand what other parts of the world are doing, like Australia and other trading partners, because if this Delta variant poses a threat and the economic exchange trading that we have in this world of ours, this might cause some more strain in the already problematic supply chain issue we have in our country. So investors are closely monitoring the Federal Open Market Committee's July monetary policy decision. Essentially, they'll be meeting today to discuss, are they going to taper the $120 billion asset purchases that they started? Are they going to do interest rate hikes? The problem is Bank of America has seen a staggering 1,000% increase in inflation talks that they were having in their earnings call. This is a big problem that we have. And the problem is if you pull out too quickly and don't add enough liquidity to the market, then that might cause the market to undergo recession. But at the same time, if you prolong the flooding of these asset purchases, then that'll definitely increase inflation. Now, what the stock market wants to hear from Federal Chairman Jerome Powell today is that they are going to continue their asset purchases until the recovery is fully met. That they firmly believe that this inflation is transitory and it will decrease with lumber prices. I'm going to be closely monitoring the bond market yields. Again, you can kind of see an inverse relationship here. When the bond markets were high in March area, the NASDAQ was definitely really in bearish territory. We had a correction not too long ago. And as you see, the bond market started to decrease, and now you're seeing the NASDAQ go up as well. So again, the whole point of this channel is to kind of show you how I process information and how I use information to make money in the stock market. But most importantly, provide you with unbiased news, just what's happening around our world. Now, this week we had a lot of intense, amazing earnings in our weekly earnings. And, we had Amazon report, we had Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla already reporting on Monday. And then I think today we have Facebook reporting. But they posed blowout earnings, especially Tesla. And why is it down? Well, again, because of this whole Delta variant. People, are scared. Stock market now is an inflation scarcity, and are we going to mask mandate and hurt the economy, right? So that's why we see these numbers. Now, I wanted to go ahead and go over these charts with you regarding Tesla's Q2 report, because I think it was very powerful. We need to talk about this, but unfortunately, I need to reevaluate this computer for recording. It's a little glitchy right now. But long story short, I'm gonna go through these. It's a little bit more smoother now than what it was before. But what I want to really focus in on here is, obviously these are all trajectories that you want to see in Tesla. But the big one that I want to talk about is look at their net income. They surpassed $1 billion for the first time. Guys, this is a very powerful chart here. I think that Bitcoin is going to $1,000 within the next 12 months. I definitely see that happening. Now, again, that's just my financial opinion, and this is not financial advice, but I definitely see that happening to Tesla. These are just articles to support what we're saying here from the data. Tesla reports more than $1 billion in net income. And this is important because it's the first time this happened. The company also reported a $20 million impairment related to Bitcoin as the price of Bitcoin dropped. Now, in my previous video, we talked about how we had a meeting with Jack Dorsey, Cathie Woods, and Elon Musk regarding what is the future of Bitcoin. And Elon Musk, very funny, I thought it was very funny. He said, "I may pump, but I don't dump." So I think that was really, really funny. So now going into the cryptocurrency transition, I believe that today we might see a rally in Bitcoin because we have this meeting here in terms of the CEO of Ethereum talking about DOGECOIN, right? And let me move my picture here. Essentially trying to create a bridge between DOGECOIN and Ethereum and how to have that transaction rate to be lightning speed and just making Doge more effective. Now, other parts and other businesses are starting to accept Doge. You know, we're looking at Petco, PetSmart, if they might go ahead and do those types of acceptance. But this is definitely might serve as a catalyst in addition to all the things that have happened to Bitcoin in the past 72 hours as it broke a key mark of crossing over the $40,000 mark and just hovering just shy of that right now. Now, in terms of earnings, just to kind of briefly talk about this, Apple reports a blowout quarter. It's relied heavily on its sales of the iPhone, which were up 50% annually to $39 billion in sales. But now, hold on. They say that they see an industry-wide shortage, unfortunately, with chips. And we've seen this chip shortage and semiconductor shortage that has really hurt a lot of businesses. And we may see some growth decrease for Apple in the next quarter. That's what they were saying. So that's important to note. Google also reported, like I stated, and if you look at it, they crushed Wall Street's expectations. Their revenue came in over $7 billion, up 83% from last year, drawing close to Netflix quarterly revenue, which was $7.34 billion, right? The stock rose more than 3% in the after-hours trading. And just to kind of give you a little bit of analysis, just the earnings per share were $27 versus the analyst expectation of $19. Revenue was $61 billion, with the analysts projecting it to be $51. And YouTube advertisement revenue grew $7 billion versus the $6.37 billion that it was expected. The cloud services as well. So they beat really well, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about AMC, because the discussion with the Federal Chairman Reserve Jerome Powell and all of these things that are happening within the whole interest rate hike and the tapering of the liquidity that the feds are putting and injecting into the market might actually hurt the stocks that retail investors enjoy, such as in the Wall Street bets community. We see that the short interest over time has been increasing. These numbers are a little bit unreliable. Last time I checked, I think it was like around the 74 million outstanding shares, I believe, that were of short interest, and we can kind of see that around here. So that's good to note. You know, AMC has been hovering from the $30 range and to the $50 range, and these market makers and individuals are unfortunately, pushing this price down, but not too down, because then a whole Wall Street bet ape army community will come in and diamond hands and keep pouring money and buying the dip. So they're slowly, gradually going ahead and decreasing it and just making it boring. So I, say to my retail investors to stay vigilant and keep the track. The data is here, and we can see the data, and it's not rocket science, right? Now, in terms of Visa, Visa boosted with strong spending and online, but I want to scroll down here and just talk to you guys about the revenue. The revenue rose 6.1 billion from 4.84 billion. The acceleration was in travel, entertainment, and restaurant spending, as well as resurgence of affluent cardholder spending. Now, the biggest takeaway here is that they're saying that we're essentially seeing that even as the economy reopens, e-commerce spending is sustainable, right? Which means that the habits that were picked up when the United States was in lockdown is still persistent, which is really good, right? For e-commerce plays, for the tech sector, for growth stock plays, for what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, I just wanted to, earlier on I talked about how the, Bank of America was talking about how the, their global research department saw an increase of kind of 1,000% in terms of year-over-year growth when regards to the mentions of inflation, right? And a big thing that we need to consider is that, yes, this is scary, but a lot of the economists and, in fact, people on the federal, on the FOMC, they believe that this is transitory, just like lumber prices. Just very quickly here, Starbucks beat earnings as well. They're doing extremely well. However, China definitely has some FUD, and I'm going to build upon that. This was essentially their beat. I'm not going to, you guys see it here. And then now going into China, people now are saying, Chinese stocks are now among Asia's worst performing, right? This was an article published yesterday. Jim Cramer saying, you can't own these stocks. These stocks are horrible. And this was in July 23rd. But then not even a month, just a month before that, Jim Cramer says, get as many DD shares as you can after the Chinese ride-hail giant goes public. And that was in June 28, right? Just last month, right? So, you have to really do your due diligence and do your research and don't just go off people's opinion. Microsoft again beat. It surpassed its expectations. Here were the numbers for their beat. Their net income increased by 47% from the previous quarter. That's really good. And here is their revenue of $46 billion when compared to the analyst expectation of $44 billion, right? So what I'm trying to say about the whole China thing is that we do a lot of business with China, right? China going down will hurt U.S. businesses. And we live in a capitalistic country, right? Now, just on the side here, we do have an investigation that is bipartisan regarding the Capitol riots. This person made a testimony about what happened, and he really suffered a lot of not only mental but physical abuse. And just take some time to look into this. But yeah, thank you again. If I learn more about what's going on with the Delta variant, the stock market, I will definitely come on here and give you guys more information. It is my honor and privilege. This video is a little longer than what I like, but this is a crazy week for earnings. Thank you again for your time. God bless you. Bye-bye.